Preecy, the weekend's gone, we're now at Monday ahead of the day's soccer school, but more importantly for you and for us, I guess, is the game tomorrow night at home against Scarborough. Before we go into that, a little bit of a debrief from the weekend. What were your overall thoughts on the 3-0 win?
Really pleased with the performance, the way we went about the game from the first whistle. We knew it was going to be competitive, so there's never going to be any inch given, and you just have to be careful because those games are normally played on the edge, and sometimes they can be decided by which looks now like it's just a lunge, isn't it? And I think when you look back at it, very similar to Milan's, the position of the referee is key sometimes in these decisions. Milan's just didn't look like a sending off from the angle that we were at. I was perplexed how he got sent off. Again, it probably was the same with Chester. They thought that it wasn't a sending off, but then when you see it back, you see the position of the referee. Both the red cards, you can see why Milan's, and you can see why Jack Bainbridge was a red card. There's no doubt in it, and the speed of the referee pulling the red card out is the thing that put the doubt in my mind that I was thinking it probably wasn't, but that doubt was in my mind because how quick he put the red out, and when you see it back, it was a red card. And sometimes you need to look back at it before you do your interviews, and we looked back at Milan's and made sure that we'd seen the angles, and because you can say things that you'll regret. So the pleasing thing was how we went on from that. It did take us a little bit of time, and half time we changed a little bit. We wanted to stretch him a little bit, take more control of the game, and second half I thought we were fantastic, some great goals, and we were really ruthless, as Ando said. That you have to be in those situations really ruthless, and we were against what is a really good Chester side, and although that they'll say we're down to 10, that's part of the game. Everybody's going to be fired up. You've got to control that, and we did that, and it's an important result, but it's only one game won, and another 3 points. There's so much more to do.
In terms of the squad, the only notable omission from the weekend was Cole Hall, but your two new additions in Max Thompson and Luke Summerfield. In the squad, quite a few comments made about the depth of the squad, and saying it's the strongest bench that they can remember us having for quite some time. What's your thought on that?
Yeah, like I said, I think the squad's deeper than it's been for a while. That's because we've been able to keep so many players from last year. That was so important, and we said continuity might be an advantage to us, especially early on, and that possibly that's helped in the first 2 games. But look, it's important. A couple of those lads are on short-term contracts, so we just have to make the most of the money that we've got available, and I think we've done that really well this year, and add that to a couple of the 2 or 3 of the young lads who were in and around it as well. It's going to be important, and we've seen already Cole Hall's had an illness, and Willow's picked up that injury, Milan getting sent off, so all of a sudden you're talking about maybe 3 or 4 changes in the first couple of games, so that depth will be important, but if we need to strengthen, we've been really good with the budget this year, and I left some in there to make sure that if there's an emergency happens that we can do something. So it's nice to look round and have those options, and some really good options.
And I guess then moving ahead quickly to tomorrow's game against Scarborough, your thoughts on Jonathan Greening's side of Scarborough, and also a message, I guess, to the fans who we need them in numbers to come out again.
Yeah, we've had a really good start. It's just a good start, and the thing is we you can't relax. You've got to be at it every single game. And Scarborough, you know, I think people are underestimating Scarborough. I know they've had some issues off the pitch with getting their pitch and having to move to Bridlington and stuff. But you look at their team; it's not changed a great deal, and they're a good side. And Jonathan does a really good job there, and they've always been competitive. Probably, you know, a bit disappointed last season, but they're always a good side, really attacking. Some really good players in their team, so it'll be a difficult game. You know, they beat Files on Saturday. That is a great result. Only lost 1-0 against Kidding. You know, I think that, you know, they've been badly underestimated, and it'll be a real tough game for us. And like I say, you cannot take your foot off the gas against any team, and especially the Scarborough team. They're a very, very good side. So it's the same off the pitch. You know, we get a big crowd against Chester. We're going to need the same. We're going to need that same support on a Tuesday night. I'm sure there are going to be some tired legs out there, and they'll need that lift, and they do make a difference. You know, you know, that's as quiet as I've heard of Chester away following, and we were really noisy right the way through, and obviously enjoyed the performance. But we need them more than ever, and you know, at this minute in time, and I know things are tough, and we've got another home game on Bank Holiday Monday, but you know, we've only sold 70 odd tickets at this minute in time, which I know it'll change as we get closer to the game. But we need you. You know, if the fans are listening to this, you know, we need you more than ever. We've had a great start, but you know, we're going to need that support, and again, we'll have to be at our best on the pitch to get a good result.